retire at a time. I'm going to go in a little bit different direction because Martin covered pretty much a lot what I would have said, and I'm sort of looking at it as my experience. I came to teaching after having been in engineering for 7 years, and the engineering field was totally different. I started as a civil engineer and went into aerospace. And when I started the job, I found out they don't have a lot of cement up in airplanes. So, I had to find out how to do aerospace. And I was very fortunate. I had a very knowledgeable supervisor, and he said to me, we're going to sit you next to an experienced engineer, but as you go through your career, pick out the people that you think can be a good model for you and follow what they do, and you'll be successful. So I spent my time in engineering, and it was a good time. They paid for a master's program for me. They gave me training in management engineering, and unfortunately in 1975, as even the teaching field knew, we hit economic crisis, and I decided it was time to leave engineering, and I decided to go into teaching. I had some education courses, but psychology of ed, and no one told me how to write a lesson plan, no one told me what to expect when you get into a classroom. And I found a job. Actually, my mother knew someone who was in, my mom and dad both worked for the Board of Ed, so they knew of a principal who was in dire need of a teacher, and I went to IS 126 Queens. That is Albert Shanker's school. So I got there and said, I'm in Albert Shanker's place now. This is a great place to be. And I came in with a three-piece suit, tie, jacket, vest, you know, that's how you did it in engineering when you were out in business. And the principal told me, lose the tie, lose the vest, lose the jacket. And I found out the next day why. And there was a lot going on there that I was not prepared for. And I learned quickly what to do to teach. I think the first week was my toughest week because somehow the kids brought up mashed potatoes, fruit cup, milk containers, and when I started to write, mashed potatoes came down the board, fruit cup came down the board, and I began questioning this teaching. And the principal, not the principal, the supervisor came in, and he said, I'll take care of them, and he told them, this is your 7th teacher. This was in January, so only half a year had passed. And if he leaves, you're not going to get another teacher. And I turned around and I saw all these smiling faces. What do you do? Well, I turned to the kids, and when he left, I said, oh, you know, he's only kidding you. I'm going to come back. And when I came back the next day, I guess they were surprised I came back. So it worked out fine. And then in June, they laid me off because they had no money. So I subbed for a couple of years. And then I went to, eventually I made it to my first assignment, IS 61 Queens. And it was a big school, and it was a challenge because the students there at that time, unfortunately, it was sort of the dumping ground for Queens. And they would send a lot of the kids who were troubled there. And I had a good supervisor. He helped me. He gave me a little bit more education about how to plan a lesson, how to handle the work. And luckily it was no higher than 9th grade math, so I didn't have to worry, you know. And we managed, and I had 1 or 2 episodes there that I thought were kind of funny for me. The first one was I saw some kid working in his desk, in the desk, not on the desk. And I'm, oh, what's he doing in the desk? So I gradually walked around the back of the room, and he's busy, you know, and tap him on the shoulder. What do you got? And he pulled out a 44 Magnum. I said, you can't have that here. So my next question was, is it loaded? And his answer was, yes. So now I gotta get this away from him somehow. So I said to him, look, how about you take out the bullets and give me the bullets? I don't want to. I said, look, I'm not asking for the gun, I'm just asking for the bullets. And I'll give them back to you at the end of the day. Meet me outside. So he gave me the bullets. And geez, cooperative. I said, you got it in your pocket? Yeah, I got 6 more. And some more. So the bell rang, and he got up and he ran out with the gun. So I said, oh, what do I do? Well, luckily we had a policeman in the building at that time, stationed there. And I said to my colleague across the hall, stay here, I have to run downstairs, talk to the police officer. And I'm running down the stairs and the police officer's running upstairs. And I turn around and I run over and says, so-and-so has a gun. He says, yeah, we're gonna go get him. And he ran down the hall faster than I could. So I went back and taught my class. And they arrested the young boy. And I went out after school, I had still 12 bullets. And I figured maybe I'll see him on the corner. Didn't see him. So I threw the bullets in the sewer. And I thought it was over. And the next day he came back and he
said, where's my
he came back in and he was very polite. And he said, thank you. He said, I have a police record. Had they caught me with the bullets, I would have been charged with a felony charge or a much more serious charge. This is like a misdemeanor. And so he left. I thought he was going to come back and shoot me. So then I was just about getting ready to leave IS-61, and I found a kid walking in the hall doing this, and he has a tube in his hand, like a test tube. And I said, what do you got there? And, oh, nothing. Well, what do you got? I said, let me see that. And some of the kids were into drugs and stuff. So when I took it, I said, look, I'll give it back to you. You come see me in my room later. And I went downstairs to the drug counselor. And this was liquid PCP. Wow. The drug counselor took the cap off and told me, hold it a foot away from you and go like this. And my heart started going. And he said, had you put it under your nose and sniffed it, you would have been out on the floor. And they were using that to spray onto cigarettes, or to put it on and smoke. That's how they did it. So in the school, I learned everything to know about drugs, almost everything to know about drugs. But then, luckily, I get this letter in the mail. It says, you are to report to Brooklyn Tech High School. Brooklyn Tech, that's one of the best schools in the city. So I took that letter and I ran down. And on the way, I was talking to a friend who also is a teacher. He was going down. And he said to me, you really don't want to take that job. I said, Brooklyn Tech. He said, well, they hire teachers in September to work till January to hold the overflow that come in as freshmen. And when the classes decrease, they cut their enrollment, and you're the new teacher, so you'll be gone. So I said, okay, thank you. And I got down there and I asked the fella, Rufus Thomas was the name of the man, some of you may know him. He said, you go to Brooklyn Tech. I said, please, can I have a Queens school? He says, you don't want to go to Brooklyn Tech? I said, no, just give me any school in Queens, because I don't want to travel all the way to Brooklyn. He says, well, I got this school in Newtown. I'm like, whoa, that's it, And that's how I got to Newtown. Amazing how fate happens to you as an individual, where your paths take you, who you meet along those paths. And, John mentioned Supervisor Lorraine Lodgman. She was an excellent supervisor. She was the one I learned from. She taught me how to write a lesson plan. Sonia told you everything that she did for us. And along the way, I've always found my supervisors to be helpful. If I had a problem, I knew I could go to them and they would listen and try to do the best they could in the situations they're in. And Janisha, I know you tried so hard with me with this stuff, but